Everybody, welcome back and bear down, claws up and bear down. As always, thanks for tuning in. I keep getting sidetracked by the stories that I want to create, the videos I want to create, but this is the most important one in my opinion. This is the biggest thing left in the next 4.5 weeks for the Bears, is whether they're going to get some signings done. So no, I'm not going to beat this to death, but I do want to talk about this article that came out yesterday from Sports Illustrated entitled "Drew Rosenhaus Advertises His Duo. Are the Bears Listening?" And it comes from this right here. Let's move this just a little bit so you can see it. And let's go there so you can see it as well. And I'm just going to go through a couple points of it. And that advertisement got in the way. They talk about Connor Williams. So right here, let me go on the record and say Connor has a remarkable recovery, nothing short of miraculous, really looking good at the start of the season. Rosenhaus told Miami sportscaster Josh Moser, there's a lot of teams interested in him, but just delighted for Connor. We already reported on it. He said it's not likely that they will re-sign with the Dolphins. So that's where we stand with that. The obsessive Connor Williams watch goes on. Let's just hope it happens. The other end of it is what got me thinking for this video. Emmanuel Ogbah. He's someone that I brought up before, but a lot of people online, especially on Twitter and other places, are saying we can't get both. Well, that's what I want to address today is, can we get both? Is it possible? Is it feasible? And everyone should stop doubting Ryan Poles, because if he wants something, he's going to go get it. Now, I think it's more likely, as much as I hate to say this, that if we do sign Williams, that's Connor Williams, that will go get someone like Carl Lawson. Now, a lot of people will say Yannick Ngakoue because it's going to be roughly around the same price, you would think, and that's around $3-ish million. You all know where I stand on Yannick Ngakoue. I'd rather take a shot on Connor Williams. And Emmanuel Ogbah, who is making roughly $16 million right now, but that was after he played really well in 2020 and 2021 that he signed a massive extension. It was $65 million over 4 years, making about $16 million a year. Well, the Dolphins only cut him into 2 years into that. So he's owed about $4 million left on his dead cap, which will go into another team's payment of him. The Dolphins owe him $4 million still. So that's going to have to get paid to him. So that can help offset a little bit. But Ryan Poles has shown he knows how to get things done. He can backload, front load. He can make things work. And it's speculated right now that Emmanuel Ogbah is going to be owed, or he's going to make roughly $6 to $8 million a year, probably on a 2-year prove-it deal. It's probably what they're going to get. So let's just go to the bottom here where he talks about Ogbah. And he said Moser also had talked to Rosenhaus about Ogbah and had this to say of him on Twitter. The defensive end had significant interest from multiple teams. He's looking to get back into a 4-3 scheme instead of a 3-4. 6'4", 275-pound Ogbah is more the size of a defensive ends in a scheme like Matt Eberflus. That's very, very close to a Walker type of size. Uses with the Bears. At least he's more similar to the prototype than 242-pound Yannick Ngakoue, who we've basically already replaced with Jacob Martin. That's a very, very similar to Yannick Ngakoue's style of player. Very quick and lean, good hips, but a little undersized. I'm excited to see what Jacob Martin can do, because that basically replaces Yannick Ngakoue for us. He also played a 3-technique tackle, which is an added plus in the Bears system. This is very, very, very DeMarcus Walker type of player. Ogbah was actually used at the end and nose tackle with the Dolphins in the past. He has 42.5 career sacks. So let's actually go look at Emmanuel Ogbah. Let's go there. Let me show you guys him real quick. This is what I like to do on here. You guys know that. So here's Emmanuel Ogbah, 6'4", 278 pounds. Very high RAS score. I'll show you that in a second, coming out of Oklahoma State. But here's his seasons. And so you see he played, his rookie year was, average. It was good. Cleveland, and then, very consistent, got better, a little bit down there, but got better. And you can see his total snap count went up and up and up. He got a little bit of time. Second-round pick, probably didn't develop as much as they wanted, but he had a breakout year right in here. So you can see he had 10 sacks there, 11 sacks there. If you look at the total pressures compared to the snap counts for it, that's what I look at a lot. 502 there, pass rush. I didn't mean to search for that. 522 compared to 66. That's very good. Those are good numbers. The thing that is a little alarming is I keep hitting those buttons, sorry. Missed tackle percentage, and it went up right there. So it didn't have as many snaps there. So it's kind of how much can you take from that? So what I like to do is I like to go look at the snaps by position, because he said he wants to play in a 4-3 instead of a 3-4. So you look back at his good year that he had, which is 2021, 2020. Let's look at where he played. And you see these LEOs. I know this is a little bit much. Sorry, guys. Some of you guys like this stuff, some don't. But that's where he played the majority of those positions, 421. LEO is a terminology for a combination of end and outside linebacker. That's when they're lined up on the line, but more as a 3-4 type of scheme. And he was playing that primarily. So this is where he had his best season. But this tells you, even though he did well in that, he wants to play in a 4-3. He feels a lot more comfortable with the edge type of role, being a true defensive end and being more of a tackle, more of a DeMarcus Walker type of player where he can get that burst and he contain as well. He wants to have that defined role. So that's very good for the Bears. That's a very good thing that he wants to do that. It only helps the Bears to be able to attract him. So let's go back to before the draft, before free agents. This is kind of what I had on my sheet of what we needed. So there was the quarterback, wide receiver, defensive interior guard, offensive tackle, tight end, center, defensive end. This is where I said we need to address our need. Well, let's look what Ryan Poles has done. Let's see how he's handled this. Well, if you look at it, he's actually done really well. Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen. Keith Randolph right now would stand as the defensive interior. And that's not bad because right now we have a plethora of guys that can fill in as the 3 tech. And we don't have a ton that can really fall in for Andrew Billings. And Keith Randolph might really be the savior of this year's undrafted free agent class, the more that you look at him. Now, he's not the one I've highly touted the most, but he's one that we should be highly touting a little bit more because he can play pure nose tackle better than anybody else on the team except Andrew Billings. Now, Andrew Billings is a massive tackler, very good at plugging the holes. Keith Randolph, he just had a down year last year, and if he didn't have the injury that he went through, he would have been touted a lot higher, and he wouldn't have been an undrafted free agent. We all know that. And the Bears went out and they actually spent money on him. They threw guaranteed money at him to be able to get him to come to us in the undrafted free agency. So I really think he might be the one that makes it here. Then you get Ryan Bates. If we sign these two, this is the hypothetical. You see the blue there. That moves Ryan Bates over to guard. That has filled that depth piece. Whether he or Nate Davis starts, that's filled that need. That need is gone. Drafting Kieran Amagaji helped the swing tackle, which we talked about in the last slide. You see Larry Borum was my issue there. Kieran Amagaji. Then you've got Mercedes Lewis that we just re-signed, which fills that tight end hole. You see I had none there. And center, we've signed Coleman Shelton. And then if we sign Connor Williams, that's solidified. Now, I know we've talked about this over and over again, but I'm going to get into, is this feasible? So let me go here. And then at defensive end, you've got Austin Booker. And then if we add Emmanuel Ogbah, this is stacked. Then you've got Montez Sweat, DeMarcus Walker, Austin Booker, Emmanuel Ogbah, and Jacob Martin. Those are 5 defensive ends that I feel is at least above average in this league. There's a lot of potential there. A lot of that is built off potential. Emmanuel Ogbah, can he get back to where he was? Austin Booker, can he develop and keep doing what everyone's seeing him do in camp? And can he become the player that is hypotheticized? When you go through the draft, all these are just guys in the first round don't pan out sometimes. Guys in the second round don't pan out sometimes. So it doesn't always work out the way that you want it to. But Austin Booker is highly regarded by a lot of scouts. He should have been a 3rd-round pick. Bears snagged him in the 5th round. And I didn't even have on here, most people didn't have on here, kicker. We weren't worried about Trenton Gill. Well, we didn't look into it deeply. That's why Ryan Poles is 5 steps ahead of us. We didn't look into it deeply until afterwards. Oh, wow, yeah, this really was a weakness for us. Yard position, field position was something we weren't winning, and Torrey Taylor really puts us in a position we could be among the best in the league in field position. So there's a good thing. All right, so we've already gotten Mercedes Lewis. This is what I had on him before. So that's one of the 3 that were filled. This is what I put before, realistic additions. This is realistically who the Bears could be going after. And I put Carl Lawson, Yannick Ngakoue, and Emmanuel Ogbah. And then, so here's Emmanuel Ogbah. You see 9.34 RAS score coming out in 2016. So let's go. And then there's Connor Williams, 9.15 RAS score. Everybody knows about Connor Williams so far. Obsessive Connor Williams watch. No, nothing has changed. Nothing's changed there. We're just really hoping that it happens at this point. So let me show you guys, is it feasible? Is it feasible? Can we make this happen? So this is what I like to share. And I know a lot of you guys like this. It's confusing for some, and I get that. But let me show, this is the salary cap, okay? Now, there's a lot that's going to happen. I'm going to clear up some misconceptions. I'm going to spoil it here at the end. Here's the numbers. But once the season starts, the 51-man cap doesn't matter. It's all 53 players. You've got your dead cap, and then practice squad players count too. And I'm just going to go off last year's numbers. This is roughly, they can make anywhere from 10,000 a week to 25,000 a week, or their rookie guaranteed contract of 700,000. It just depends. So of those 16 players, roughly 3 million is spent last year on that. It's going to be somewhere around this range. So I put plus or minus 3 million. So that's going to count towards the salary cap too. So all those things need to be taken into consideration. And then, so let's look at it. Here's just a projection. We're going to go through it quickly because I've already shared. If you want to pause it and look at this, you can. This is my projections right now as we stand, what I think. Now, I know this is hard for a lot of people to fathom, but I really think this is where we're at right now. This is, I guess, what I would like to see too. I could be dead wrong, and maybe with Shane Waldron's scheme, that's not the point of this video. So if you're making the comment on that, that's fine. You can comment and we can all have a discussion on it. But Kerry Blasingame, I don't think, and Travis Homer, I think with these four and Ian Wheeler's ability to be as a return man and also as a running back, because he is a solid running back that was underutilized and not utilized correctly, I really think that this could be our four that we have. And if we can convince Kerry Blasingame to be on the practice squad, I don't know. So anyways, that's not the point. And then I do have 7 wide receivers. And these aren't the cut and cold ones that are going to be it. I get that. Who knows who's going to be the guys, but I'm looking at returnability with this year. So don't get stuck on the players, but this is how I have it wrapped out. And if you're just going to go down, this is how it adds up. So right here, you can see I put Connor Williams hypothetical. Now, Swifty did a good video talking about his potential earnings. I've put on here before he's going to be somewhere around the Lloyd Cushenberry type of contract that was signed 4-year, $50 million. So that's what I put in here. This is hypothetical. So we're just saying if it's going to be around these hypothetical numbers, this is what it could be. Now, right here, Emmanuel Ogbah, he's owed $4 million right now from the Dolphins. Now, if Ryan Poles can structure this properly, that $4 million can contribute to then him taking a 2-year, $10 million from us, $3 million this year, $7 million next year. I know this isn't. Who knows if that's what's going to. We're hypothesizing. Is it possible? Well, if Ryan Poles pulls off his magic and does something like this, and then we've got, as I showed, Keith Randolph, Emmanuel Ogbah, Jacob Martin, Andrew Billings, Zach Pickens, I'm sorry, guys. I still slip. Gervon Dexter, Austin Booker, DeMarcus Walker, Montez Sweat. Then you go down to the linebackers. This is just hypothetical. And then secondary, and then our special teams. This is what our salary cap would be, $238. You've got the NFL salary cap plus our rollover. So there's our adjusted cap. The dead cap prior to this, plus the new additions of dead cap. You can see we do have dead cap from certain players, Jamari Croma. You'd have Larry Borum. But this also takes into consideration some of those cuts. So it would have to be done. This might be more incentive for the Bears to cut Travis Homer, to cut Kerry Blasingame, to cut, go down here, Larry Borum, to cut Jatiri Carter. I mean, this is all hypothetical, but if this is how it pans out, something like this, and you've got that, then you've got your new debt additions, which is those guys that I just talked about. You've got your practice squad players accounting for roughly $3 million through the year, which is why you need a buffer. So that goes towards the buffer. So the buffer would actually be 782, 302, which is about what Ryan Poles likes to run with. Your actual salary cap that he still has after practice squad players is around $5 million. So is it feasible? Yeah. It is. It's feasible to get both of these guys. It's feasible to get both Connor Williams and Emmanuel Ogbah. Do I think we're going that way? I don't know, because that is, I mean, we go look at that again. Let me go show that again. If we look at this, this is a player that has high potential. This is a player that really could be a value for the Bears. Look at his sack numbers. A lot of you guys like to focus on the sacks. Well, those sacks are quality sacks per snap. 6 snaps on 122 pass rushes last year is actually extremely high. Now, there was some negative that came with that, the missed tackle, but 6 sacks and 144 pressures, that's very, very high. Take, for example, 11 sacks his highest season in 524 pressures, so almost 4-ish times as much. That's double the production. So this is a player worth banking on. So Drew Rosenhaus, could the Bears go after the duo? Yeah, we could. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want both Connor Williams and Emmanuel Ogbah? When you look at actually last year's numbers, 6 snaps and 106 stacks and 144 attempts, and he wants to play in a 4-3. He wants to be in Matt Eberflus type of system. We could snag both these guys. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, claws up and bear down.